The sky over Eros 9 turned red. Not from the sunset, not from storms, from fire. At first, no one believed the warnings. Eros 9 was one of Earth's oldest colonies, peaceful, far from any war zone. People lived quiet lives, mining rare crystals and farming the dry soil. Children played under twin moons. Life was simple until the screams began. It started with a shadow, a black shape in the sky, wide like a mountain. People looked up. Some thought it was a cargo ship. Others thought it was a joke. Then the sound came, a deep hum, low, angry, like the growl of something ancient. And then it attacked. The alien ship opened fire without a word. Buildings exploded. The air turned hot. Screams echoed across the colony as people ran toward the emergency shelters. But there was no time. The ship moved fast, hitting every power station first. The lights died. The alarms fell silent. The colony was being erased. But deep in the forest, far from the main buildings, a boy was running. His name was Kai, just 14 years old. He was small for his age, quiet, always listening, always thinking, and he was alive. Shelter in the woods. Kai's father had always been different. A former Earth soldier, he believed danger could come any time. People laughed at him, called him paranoid. But he built a hidden shelter anyway, deep underground, hidden beneath tree roots and rocks. He called it the Nest. Kai and his father used to visit it every week, practice hiding, practice surviving. Kai didn't like it then. It was dark, cold, lonely, but now it saved his life. When the attack started, Kai didn't run to the colony center like others. He didn't call for help. He ran to the nest, just like his father taught him. His father, who had gone to the mining fields that morning. He never came back. Kai locked the door, sat in silence, and waited. 12 days in darkness. The nest had food, water, air, a backup power core. Enough for one person to survive for a month. Kai stayed inside, listening. Above him the sky burned for 2 days. He could hear the sounds even underground, explosions, screams, silence, then more explosions, as if something else had come. Maybe Earth's army, maybe a second alien ship. Kai didn't know, but he stayed still. On the 3rd day, he opened a small hidden camera. The colony was gone. No buildings, no people, only ash and smoke. Even the landing platforms were destroyed. Tears filled Kai's eyes. He wiped them away. His father once told him, "You cry when it's over, not when there's work to do." So he waited. The message in the dirt. On the 12th day, Kai climbed out. The air was thin. The sky was quiet. Eros 9 was dead. He moved through the ruins like a ghost. No sound, no trace of others, just ashes and metal. He visited his house. Nothing remained but black stone and part of his mother's necklace. He kept it. Then he walked to the center of the colony, where the fountain once stood, where he used to play with his friends, and there, in the dirt, he picked up a rock, and he began to carve. One word, then another. We remember. We will return. He left it there, then walked back to the forest, not to hide, to train. Rescue arrives. Late 1 month after the attack, a rescue drone landed. It sent signals, scanned for life, found nothing until it saw something strange. In the center of the dead colony, it found words carved into a rock. The message, fresh, deep, angry. The drone turned on its thermal vision, scanned the forests, and there, under layers of trees, it saw heat, movement. A boy. Kai stepped out. His clothes were torn, his face dirty, but his eyes were sharp, focused. Alive. The drone hovered close. It spoke. "Are you a survivor?" Kai nodded once. The drone said, "We will take you home." Kai didn't answer. He looked at the sky and said softly, "No, not yet." Back on Earth, the silence news of the attack was hidden. Earth didn't want panic. The people were told it was a natural disaster. Only a few knew the truth. Inside, a secret military base, the leaders watched Kai's video, a 14-year-old boy, the only survivor, calm, quiet, with one message. "I saw their ship. I memorized it. I know their patterns. Let me help." They debated what to do, but someone had already made the choice. Commander Lynn Reyes, leader of Earth's most secret unit, Ghost Legion, watched the footage alone. She whispered, "I want him in Echo Zone." The ride to Echo Zone Kai was flown in a black shuttle. No windows, no questions. He was taken underground, far below the desert, into a place even Earth's leaders feared. The place where the Ghost Legion trained. Most were grown soldiers, killers, hackers, survivors of deadly missions. And then there was Kai, small, silent. Many laughed when he arrived, until the lights went out. 8 seconds of darkness on his third day in the base. Something strange happened. The lights shut down for 8 seconds. No alarm, no warning. When power returned, 3 instructors were on the floor, unconscious. Security cameras showed only one figure during the blackout. Kai. He wasn't armed. He didn't attack anyone. He simply stood still, watching. The medics found no wounds. Just strange nerve damage, like their minds had been shut off for a moment. Commander Reyes called Kai into her office. She asked, "Did you do it?" Kai shrugged. She asked, "How?" He answered, "They weren't quiet enough." The quiet weapon Kai didn't train like others. He didn't lift heavy weights. He didn't use big guns. He watched, listened, moved. He found paths no one else saw. He knew how people breathed before they moved. He could feel sound. They gave him the name the Ghost of Eros. He didn't like it. He told Commander Reyes, "I'm not a ghost. I'm the memory of everyone they killed." She nodded. She understood, because once, long ago, she lost a colony too. The galaxy doesn't know yet. But it will far across the stars. The aliens who attacked Eros 9 celebrated. They thought Earth was weak. They thought no one would strike back. They didn't know a boy survived. They didn't know he saw their ship, studied their flight path, understood their systems. They didn't know that while they laughed, a new weapon was learning how to move in the dark. Not a bomb, not a gun, a boy with fire in his heart. And the next time they came, they wouldn't even see him coming. Final line, voiceover style for YouTube. They destroyed the colony. They erased a home, but they left behind a survivor. And now, the galaxy will never forget what came next. The world never heard about the fall of Eros 9. The Earth government called it a mining accident. News stations reported it as a gas explosion. No one spoke of the giant alien ship. No one showed the destroyed buildings, or the black sky, or the missing people. It was hidden, buried. But Commander Lynn Reyes knew the truth. She had seen the real footage. She had read the survivors' report. And now, she stood alone in a dark room deep under the Earth's surface, staring at the boy who had lived. A cold room, a quiet boy. Kai sat in silence. The walls around him were grey, the air cold. His clothes clean but simple. He didn't ask questions. He didn't look scared. He simply waited. Commander Reyes walked in, tall, sharp. Her long coat dragged across the metal floor. Everyone feared her. They said she once broke a warlord's neck with one hand. Others said she killed 3 spies just by talking to them. She looked at the boy. "You remember everything?" she asked. Kai nodded. She placed a tablet on the table. "Draw it." He took it and began. No hesitation. No mistakes. Within minutes he had drawn the alien ship, the exact shape, the flight path, the attack pattern, even the strange glow it had before firing. Reyes stared at the drawing. This is not a normal enemy. Kai looked up. No. It thinks it can erase us and walk away. She smiled slightly. Good, she said. That means we don't need permission. Echo Zone. Where Earth hides its monsters, deep below the Nevada desert, there is a place called Echo Zone. It does not appear on maps. It has no windows. It has no doors, only one way in, only one way out. This is where Earth trains its Ghost Legion, unit so secret even most generals don't know it exists. These are not normal soldiers. They are hunters, assassins, survivors of the worst missions in history. Each one has a name that terrifies enemies across the galaxy. And now, a new recruit walked through the halls, a boy, the tests. Begin Kai was given a room, a small bed, clean water, food, no guards, no locks. He didn't need them. His first test was simple, survive. He was dropped in a large arena with fake buildings. Lights were off. 4 armed instructors entered from different sides. Each one carried a stun gun. Each one had trained for years. The lights came on. 3 seconds later, all 4 instructors were down. None of them saw Kai move. They just heard a soft step behind them, then nothing. When the lights came back, Kai was already sitting on a wall, calm, watching. The whisper in the dark, the soldiers of Ghost Legion didn't trust him at first. They watched him, laughed behind his back. Too small, they said. Too quiet. But soon, they noticed strange things. Weapons would go missing, then appear again, cleaned and upgraded. Codes they couldn't break were suddenly cracked. Doors that stayed locked for years suddenly opened. When asked who did it, no one knew. But someone started writing messages on the wall in tiny, perfect letters. You're not listening hard enough. They knew it was him, but no one ever caught him. They gave him a name. Echo. The other side of silence Kai wasn't just quiet. He was listening. Always. Every whisper. Every footstep. Every mistake. Commander Reyes saw it. She began giving him special missions inside Echo Zone. Once, she told him to steal a data chip from the control room. It was guarded by 2 elite officers, 4 drones, and a locked vault. 20 minutes later, the chip was on her desk. None of the guards saw anything. But the cameras showed one strange thing, a soft reflection. Not a face, just eyes, watching from the dark, Operation Mirror. The first step, Commander. Reyes had waited for years. The Ghost Legion was strong, but Earth leaders wouldn't let her strike first. They were afraid of waking the galaxy's larger powers. But now, after Eros 9, she didn't care. She planned something alone. Operation Mirror. She gathered her best 4 agents and Kai. Target, a remote alien trading outpost used by the attackers. Mission, infiltrate. Steal their language codes. Leave a message, not 1 kill, not 1 bullet. She wanted them scared. She wanted them confused. A mission in the fog. The outpost floated over a gas planet hidden by clouds. No alarms, no security beyond basic drones. At 3:17 a.m., the guards heard something strange, the sound of a child laughing. They ran to check. Nothing. At 3:21, their power failed for 11 seconds. When it came back, their servers were empty, and on every wall in glowing Earth script was one word: remember. Kai and the team were gone. But the alien commander of the station would never forget the feeling that night. Not fear of war, but fear of being watched. Earth still says nothing. News spread in the black markets. Whispers of a human team that moved without sound. Of a boy who could break into your mind. Of words written in places no human had ever reached. But Earth still said nothing. Their leaders stayed quiet. But in Echo Zone, something big was coming. Commander Reyes's secret late one night. Commander Reyes opened a locked room in Echo Zone. Only one other person was allowed in. Kai. Inside the room were screens, hundreds of them, each showing a different colony, different outpost, a different danger. She looked at him. This galaxy is bigger than Earth knows, and it's darker than we can imagine. Kai nodded. Then we make it fear the light. She smiled. I was 14 when I lost my home too, she said. Kai looked at her. I won't let it happen again, he said. Neither of them said more. They didn't need to. One message, sent in the dark before dawn, a message was sent, not to the aliens, not to governments, but to one person, the alien who led the attack on Eros 9, the warlord known as Threx. Valen. The message had no words, just a short video. It showed the burned colony of Eros 9, then showed Kai, sitting calmly under a tree, looking straight at the camera. Then the words appeared. You burned our sky. Now we erase your shadow. The message ended. Threx Valen's rage. Threx Valen slammed his fist into the table. His guards looked nervous. Who is this child? He shouted. No one answered. He turned to his intelligence officer. Find him. Break him. Or I break you. The officer nodded, terrified. But deep inside, he knew. This was not just a child. This was the beginning of Earth's answer. The boy who waited. Back in Echo Zone, Kai stood on the rooftop of the training tower. He looked at the stars. Somewhere out there, the ones who destroyed his home were watching. He hoped they were scared. But fear was not his goal. Memory was. He whispered to the night, I don't want revenge. Then added quietly, I want them to remember what they tried to erase. Final line, YouTube voiceover style. They took everything, but Earth stayed silent. Not because it was weak, because it was preparing something the galaxy would never see coming. The galaxy was growing quiet, not because the war had stopped, but because something unseen had started moving, and that something was human. They didn't come with fleets, no flags, no speeches, no armies, only 5 people. The first return strike was already planned, and at the center of it was a boy who refused to kill. The mission. Erase the eyes. Eros 9 was not attacked by chance. The alien warlord Threx Valen had been watching Earth's colonies for years. He placed spy beacons on moons, asteroids, and deep orbit stations. Earth had to destroy those beacons before it made its move. The mission was called Silent Cutter. Target: 6 beacon stations spread across the star system. Time: 48 hours. Kai was chosen to lead the strike. Commander Reyes handed him the mission file. These stations are unmanned but monitored. Disable them. No alarms, no deaths. Kai nodded. I won't kill. She didn't stop him. She didn't question why, because she already knew he wasn't there to destroy bodies. He was there to break fear. Strike 1. No entry point. The first station hovered above a gas moon. No entrance port. No windows. No signs of life. But Kai found it anyway. He floated near the hull in a stealth suit, nearly invisible. His breath was slow, calm. He reached into his pack, pulled out a thin metal needle, and pressed it against the surface. A soft sound, tick, tick, tick. The panel cracked open. Inside, he placed a black cube. It pulsed once, then sent a silent virus through every wire inside the station. No alarms. No noise, just darkness. Station 1, gone. The message. Left behind, Kai didn't leave without a message. On each beacon, he left one symbol, a circle with 3 claw marks through it. It wasn't human. It wasn't alien. It was his own mark. No one knew what it meant. But when Threx Valen's scouts found the broken beacons and the symbol left behind, they were afraid. They didn't know what it meant. And fear of the unknown is the worst kind of fear. Ghost Legion learns from him. The other members of Ghost Legion had learned to fight with guns, fire, and noise. But now they watched Kai. They watched how he moved without sound. How he defeated entire stations with no bullets. How can he win, one soldier whispered, without killing? The answer came from Reyes. Because the strongest weapon, she said, is control. Kai's Rulon, the fourth beacon. Something went wrong. An alien technician was working inside. He wasn't on any report. He saw Kai enter. The technician reached for a panic switch, but Kai didn't move to kill him. He stood still. "Don't," Kai said. The alien froze. He had never heard a voice so calm in a moment of danger. "I'm not your enemy," Kai said. Then he stepped forward, placed 2 fingers on the alien's neck. The alien's body collapsed, unconscious. No pain, no fight. Kai moved on. The station powered down. No one died. Threx Valen grows nervous. News of the destroyed beacons reached Threx Valen. He crushed the message pad in his hand. "This is human work," he growled. "But no damage to structure, no bodies." One of his advisors spoke up. "There is a pattern. This isn't random. It's strategy." Valen stared at him. "And who leads it?" The advisor hesitated, then showed a hologram, a blurry image. A boy's face. Calm. Focused. Kai Threx stared at the image. "Find him," he said. "Now." A shadow steps. Forward back on Earth, Commander Reyes stood before a council of hidden Earth leaders. They demanded answers. Why is a child leading missions? Why haven't we struck back fully? Why no open war? Reyes said only this, because war is loud. But the galaxy listens to silence more. They didn't agree, but they didn't stop her, because they didn't have a better plan. And deep down, they were scared too. Operation Iron Dagger next mission, strike a weapons factory in deep space. No death, no explosions, just a shutdown. But something went wrong. The intel was false. There were guards, 10 of them, armed, trained. They saw Kai. They aimed. But he didn't run. He raised his hands. "I don't want to fight," he said. They fired. He moved. He disappeared behind shadows and smoke. When it cleared, all 10 guards lay on the floor, unharmed, but unconscious. Their weapons were melted from the inside. Kai stood at the main core, placing a virus chip into the system. Then he walked away. He didn't look back. The name spreads across dark channels. Whispers began. A human who walks through walls. A boy who doesn't kill, but ends everything. The shadow that sees. And one name kept returning. Kai. The aliens didn't know what it meant, but they feared it. Because every time something failed, his name appeared, a choice offered. Commander Reyes met Kai outside the debrief room. "You keep refusing to kill," she said. Kai looked at her. "They burned everything. But if I become like them, what's the point?" Reyes didn't reply. But later that night she wrote in her private file, "He is not just a weapon. He is the conscience we lost." A surprise attack and a test of mercy. 3 days later, a Ghost Legion base was attacked by rogue mercenaries. They came with stolen tech. They came fast. Everyone panicked, but not Kai. He slipped into the storm. Inside 10 minutes, the attack ended. No alarms were triggered. The mercenaries were all captured, every one of them trapped inside their own disabled suits. No wounds, no blood, just silence. When asked what happened, no one knew, only the soft whisper of boots in the hallway. One more rule. Broken despite everything, Earth's leaders wanted war. They began building warships again, louder, heavier, full of death. Reyes watched silently. Then she looked at Kai. He said, "Let them build it. but they'll never move faster than one person with purpose. A signal from Eros 9 late one night, an old emergency beacon activated from Eros 9. The colony everyone thought was dead. The colony where Kai was born. The signal was weak, damaged, but clear. It was a recording, a woman's voice. If anyone hears this, there are survivors trapped underground, please. Kai's heart froze. His mother had worn a necklace. He still had the piece in his pocket. The voice was hers. One last whisper. He looked at Reyes. I'm going back. She nodded once. I'll come with you, she said. No, Kai replied. If I don't return. He paused. Make sure they remember why we fight, not just how. Final line, voiceover style. He could destroy, he could kill, but instead, he chose silence, mercy, and purpose. Now the galaxy will learn what happens when the Quiet One speaks. The galaxy believed Eros 9 was gone, burned, erased, lost in silence, but deep underground. Something still moved, and someone still waited. Kai had seen the video. He had heard the voice, his mother's voice. She had survived the attack. Maybe others had too. The world had left Eros 9 behind, but he had not. Now he was going back. The last shuttle commander, Reyes, stood at the hidden launch bay. Only one ship was ready for this kind of mission, a stealth shuttle called Shadefall. It had no weapons, no defenses, only one pilot seat. Kai stepped inside without a word. You're sure you want to do this alone? Reyes asked. Kai didn't look back. They forgot us once. I won't forget them. The ship rose silently. No, one else knew. Earth's leaders hadn't approved this mission, but some things didn't need approval. They needed heart. The ghost planet Eros 9 was silent. From space it looked like a dead world. Black craters, broken towers, frozen smoke still, drifting in the wind, no signals, no heat. But Kai knew better. The recording had been real. The voice, real. And he had one advantage. He remembered every tunnel, every hidden door, every escape route. He landed far from the main colony. The old mining paths would take him underneath. He placed his hand on the frozen ground. I'm home, he whispered. The descent begins. The tunnels were tight and filled with ash. Every step stirred dust that hadn't moved in months. He carried a small light, dim and quiet, just enough to see. No sound, no wind, only the weight of memory. He passed his old school, the hallway where he first learned to read, the wall where he and his friends had carved their names. He paused. His name was still there, but someone had added something under it recently. Hope lives. Kai stared at it. They were alive. The survivor's signal, deeper in the tunnels. Kai found the source of the signal, a broken comms tower half buried under rubble. He dug with his hands, pulling away rock after rock until he reached the base. Inside, a small power cell blinked slowly, barely holding on. He plugged in a booster. The signal replayed, this time clearer. A woman's voice, weak, tired, but alive, trapped in sub-level 3. Oxygen low. 14 people left. Please, anyone. His mother, still breathing, still waiting. He had no time to waste. The collapse trap as Kai moved toward sub-level 3. The ground shook. A trap. Something had activated old mining charges. The floor under him cracked and gave way. He fell, hard. Dust and rock swallowed him, but he didn't panic. His body ached. Blood on his lip, but he reached into his suit and pulled out a small drone. It floated up, scanning. It beeped once. Life signs, straight ahead, very weak. Kai smiled through the pain. Still got you? The last door sub-level 3 was sealed, a giant metal door, twisted by heat. Behind it, silence. Kai placed his ear against the surface, then tap, tap. 3 slow knocks. He tapped back. Tap, tap, tap. The reply came faster. Desperate, he placed his hand on the scanner. Nothing. Then he reached into his belt, pulled out a strange-shaped key. It wasn't made on Earth. He had taken it from the enemy base during his last mission. Now he fitted into the panel. Click. The door slid open. Slowly. The air was thin. But behind it, he saw them. The survivors. 14 people sat huddled in the darkness. Old miners, children, injured workers, and in the center, his mother. She looked up, weak eyes wide. She didn't recognize him at first. Then her lips trembled. Kai. He ran to her. She held him tight. Tears rolled silently. They had stayed alive using broken filters and emergency rations. No one ever came. They thought they had been forgotten. But Kai had remembered. And now, they had hope. The problem. No way out, but hope wasn't enough. The tunnels were too damaged to bring them out the way he came. Shadefall was a one-person ship, and the beacon signal would soon reach others. The enemy would come. They had to escape fast. Kai worked quickly. He turned broken mining machines into power sleds. He hacked the old generator to boost the oxygen, and he placed sensors in the tunnels to warn if anyone approached. He only needed time. But time was not his friend. The enemy arrives. The signal had traveled faster than he expected. 2 alien scout ships arrived above. Eros 9 warlord Threx Valen had sent them. Hunters trained to find survivors and erase them. They landed quietly, started scanning, found the new tunnel heat, and began the search. One boy, one Plankai, saw them coming on his sensor. 2 groups, 5. Soldiers each. He turned to the survivors. You stay hidden. Do not move unless I call. His mother touched his shoulder. What will you do? Kai looked at her. I'll remind them why they should have never come here. Then he disappeared into the dark. The echo returns. The first squad entered the hay tunnel. They moved carefully, guns ready, lights scanning. Suddenly, all lights flickered, one by one. They dropped. No damage, just black. Then a whisper, a voice in their comms. You left us in silence. Now feel what silence becomes. Panic. They fired in every direction, but saw nothing. One by one they dropped. Disabled, no injuries, just unconscious. The trap for the second team. The second team moved faster. They heard the screams. They charged. Elm stepped on a floor that wasn't real. A hologram. They fell into a pit filled with sticky foam. Safe, but trapped. As they struggled, Kai stepped above them, face hidden under his hood. One soldier raised his hand. Who are you? Kai replied simply. The part of Earth you thought you erased. Then he vanished. Time to rise with the scouts defeated. Kai returned to the survivors. Come, we go now. They followed him, riding the power sleds. Through fire, through tunnels, through everything they thought would be their grave. And at last, they reached the surface, a final surprise. But one more ship hovered above, a large alien transport, too big to fight, too fast to outrun. It fired a warning shot. Dust exploded around them, but then a roar split the sky. It wasn't alien, it was Earth. Black stealth warship broke through the clouds, Commander Reyes. She had tracked him, she had come for him, and she didn't come alone. 10 other ships followed, silent, deadly. They surrounded the alien vessel, no shots fired. The aliens fled, because they realized something terrifying. Earth hadn't been silent out of fear. It had been watching, waiting, preparing. They will remember back aboard Shadefall. Kai sat with the survivors. His mother leaned on his shoulder. Why did you come? She asked softly. He looked at her. Because I remembered something they forgot. She blinked. What's that? Kai smiled. That silence doesn't mean weakness. It means a storm is coming. The stars burned cold above the warship Gravehammer. Threx Valen stood on the command bridge, his sharp eyes locked on a hologram. It showed a boy, Kai, the same boy who disabled his beacon network, the same boy who found survivors on a colony Valen had sworn was dead. The same boy who didn't kill, but still won. Valen's claws scraped across the metal table. "No more games," he growled. "No more silence." He pointed to the stars. "Call the fleet. Earth has chosen death." The declaration, it came without warning. Every human channel went dark. Then a voice echoed across Earth's screens, stations, and ships. Alien, deep, cruel. "I am Warlord Threx Valen. Your time has ended. In 3 cycles your skies will burn. I gave mercy once, I give none now." Then he smiled. The signal ended, but the fear stayed. Earth's quiet answer. The Earth Council met at once. Some wanted to strike first, others wanted to hide. But Commander Reyes said only this: "He thinks we'll respond with fire. Let's show him something worse." Everyone turned. "What's worse than fire?" She looked at the map. Kai's return to the front. Kai stood on a hill above the training fields. Below, thousands of Ghost Legion soldiers prepared for battle. But they didn't know how to fight like him. They fought with weapons. He fought with something different. Calm, control, purpose. Reyes stood beside him. "Valen's ships are coming. 30 destroyers. Maybe more." Kai nodded slowly. "We don't need 30. She raised an eyebrow. "We just need 1, Kai said. The hidden gift deep in Earth's mountains was a place called Black Station 12. No one spoke of it. No one went there until now. Kai was taken there with 3 Ghost Legion techs. Inside, behind 10 blast doors, was something alien. And something human, a ship, unlike anything before. Built from parts stolen during missions, fused with alien tech, powered by silence. It had no weapons on the outside, no visible engines, and no name, until Kai touched it. Then a word appeared on its surface: Remnant. A different kind of ship. Remnant didn't fly like normal ships. It vanished. It folded through space, appearing behind enemy scans. It absorbed energy. It bent light, and worst of all, for Valen, it didn't need to fire to destroy. It just had to show up, because fear does the rest. Threx Valen's March. Valen's fleet entered Sol system. 30 ships, 7 carriers, 2 dreadnoughts. One purpose: to burn Earth's homeworld. He gave no warnings this time. He believed there was nothing left to fear. He was wrong. The first contact as the fleet moved toward Mars. The alarms started. One by one, Valen's ships lost visual readings. Their maps glitched. Their weapons refused to lock on. A voice whispered across their comms, soft, human. "You forgot what fear feels like." Then they saw it. Not a fleet, just one ship. Small, silent, floating above the moon. No heat, no glow, just watching. Valen snarled. "Fire everything." They fired, and missed. Missiles launched. Lasers cut the sky. But nothing touched Remnant. Every shot bent away, every beam faded, then Remnant moved. Just once it flashed, and every system across Valen's fleet shut down for 4 seconds. Only 4, but in war, 4 seconds is forever. When power returned, all ships were drifting, engines cold, weapons offline, and something worse. Their own maps now showed Earth warships behind them. Ghost Legion had arrived, but Earth didn't fire. The human ships did not attack. They simply held position, surrounding Valen, trapping him, waiting. The voice returned. Kai's voice. "You called for war. We called for memory. You burn worlds. We remember who lived there." Then Remnant appeared above Valen's flagship. Close, too close. Its lights turned on, but it didn't fire. It just showed videos. Eros 9. Children hiding underground, families holding each other as the bombs fell. Valen's own soldiers stared at the screens. Some looked away, some removed their helmets, some dropped their weapons. Valen's rage. Valen screamed, "Shut it off! Attack!" But no one moved. Even his second-in-command turned to him. "Commander, maybe we made a mistake." Valen raised his blade. The officer didn't resist. But before the blade fell, Remnant's hull lit with symbols, the same symbol Kai always left. A circle, 3 claw marks, not a threat, a memory, a message. Then Kai's voice filled the ship again. "We don't want your death. We want your change. You can leave, or you can fall." The fleet breaks one by one. Valen's ships powered down weapons, turned left. Not because they were beaten in battle, but because they had been broken in spirit, by silence, by memory, by Kai. Only Valen stayed. He roared, charged, fired his last weapon. It struck Remnant dead center and bounced off. Then the ship spoke again. Only one word, enough. The fall of a warlord. Threx Valen's ship began to spin. His controls failed, his engines reversed. Then it stopped, right in front of Earth, paralyzed, exposed, alone. Then Earth's signal reached him. Not a weapon, not a threat, just a voice. Kai's voice. "You declared war, but we declared meaning. Now choose what comes next." Valen's surrender. He didn't speak, he didn't fight. He just removed his armor and fell to his knees. The war was over, and Earth had never fired a single shot. The new word in the galaxy. The galaxy had feared Earth's weapons, its soldiers, its ships. But now, it feared something greater. A boy who refused to kill. A war that was won with no death, a memory too powerful to erase, and a ship that didn't destroy, but changed those who saw it. They no longer called Earth weak. They gave it a new title. The Eye, silent power, final line, voiceover style. He stood alone. He didn't shout, he didn't shoot, but when he spoke, the stars listened and warlords bent the knee. The war was over, but peace had not come, not yet. Across human colonies, voices cried for revenge. They had lost brothers, sisters, entire cities. The people wanted justice. They wanted to strike back. But Kai didn't agree. He had seen what revenge became. He had walked among ash and broken bones, and he knew something most had forgotten. Revenge is a fire that burns the hand holding it. The gathering on Earth, in the great dome of nations, leaders from across the stars gathered, human generals, alien emissaries, survivors and soldiers. In the center stood Kai, not in armor, not with weapons, but with a stone in his hand, a smooth gray stone. From Eros 9. The room was silent. Then a man shouted from the back, "Why do we let him speak? He should be training troops." Another woman stood. "My people died screaming, and he offers silence?" Kai raised the stone. "This is all that was left from my home." He looked at them, eyes steady. "But it is enough to build something new." The rage in the room. A young officer stood up. He had scars on his face. "My brother died in orbit over Titan. His ship was torn in half. Are you saying we should just forgive that?" Kai didn't move. "I'm saying we can build something from that pain, or we can use it to break more families." He paused. "You say you lost a brother. How many brothers do you want others to lose for payback?" No one answered. The offer to the enemy. The next day, Kai visited the prison station above Saturn. Inside were captured alien soldiers, Threx Valen's army. Most waited to die, but Kai walked among them. No guards, no fear, just silence. One tall alien growled at him. "Come to laugh at us?" Kai sat across from him. "No." "Then why?" Kai placed a tablet on the table. It showed blueprints for housing, farms, schools, on a dead moon. The alien blinked. "What is this?" Kai said simply. "Your second chance." The plan Kai's idea shocked the galaxy. He wanted to send the prisoners to an abandoned moon, not as punishment, but as builders. He wanted them to grow their own food, build homes, create something new. No guns, no fences, he said. Only work, only peace. The council was furious. "You're giving them a colony?" "No," Kai replied. "I'm giving them a chance to prove they can be more than killers." The arguments begin, people shouted. Some called him a traitor, others called him a fool. But one by one, survivors began to step forward. A mother who lost her child, a father who lost 2 sons. They said the same thing. If more death won't bring them back, then maybe this is the only way. Kai's final test. Before the prisoners were moved, Kai stood with them one last time. "You may think this is weakness," he said, "but building peace is harder than fighting war." Then he looked directly at the alien who had growled at him before. "You have no chains now. You can run, or you can build." The alien stood. "What if I want revenge?" Kai stepped closer. "Then look at me. Do you still want it now?" The alien held his gaze, then lowered his head. The moon rises, months passed. The dead moon changed. Tents became homes, weapons became tools. Some tried to escape. Most didn't. The prisoners, now settlers, planted crops, built towers. For the first time they raised their own flag, not one of war, but of survival. And they named the moon Chiron, in Kai's honor. A threat returns, but peace never lasts easy. Pirate group, humans and aliens together, attacked one of the new supply ships headed to Chiron. They believed Kai's project was a mistake. "Burn the traitor colony," they shouted. They landed with bombs and fire, but what they found shocked them. The former prisoners didn't run. They formed a shield wall, not with guns, but with bodies, protecting their homes, their families, their future. Kai arrived moments later, flying low in Remnant. The pirates froze. They expected war. Instead, Kai broadcast a message. "Put down your weapons. This place was born from pain. It will not return to it." An unlikely defense, the former alien war captain, once Valen's right hand, stood before the pirates. "I once followed a monster," he said. "Now I build schools for his victims." He dropped his old command sword on the ground. "I will not lift this again, but I will protect what I've built." One of the pirates lowered her rifle. "Why are you fighting for them?" he replied. "Because I'm no longer them. I'm something else now." The pirates retreat slowly. One by one, the attackers backed away. No battle, no war, just shame and silence. They left, and Chiron stood tall, because people had chosen change over blood. A message to the galaxy. Kai later stood in front of the Galaxy Council. He wore no uniform, just the same gray jacket. "From Eros 9, this is the future," he said. "It's not clean, it's not easy, but it's better." A young girl from Chiron walked beside him. Her name was Rima. Her parents were once soldiers under Valen. Now they grew food and taught other settlers. She held Kai's hand and smiled. That smile said more than any war speech ever could. They still whisper across the galaxy. People whisper about Kai. Some say he has no fear, others say he has no mercy. But the truth is different. He has both. He just chooses something stronger. Understanding, memory, and the power to walk away, even when you could win. The final line, voiceover style. They expected rage. They expected revenge. But he gave them something they never prepared for. He gave them a future. Peace had returned. Earth was rebuilding. Chiron, the former prison moon, was now full of farms, laughter, and even schools. Kai visited often, not as a leader, not as a hero, but as a teacher. He helped them grow, not just crops, but hope, but far away. In the dark corners of space, another force had seen everything, and they didn't like what they saw. The Silent Court. They were called the Valari Syndicate, a shadow empire, older than Earth's war records, smarter than pirates, colder than machines. They fed on war, profited from pain. Peace to them was poison, and Kai's example was dangerous. One voice in the council said, "If this Kai continues, we won't need armies anymore." Another nodded. "Destroy his image, then destroy him." The trap is set. The Valari didn't attack planets. They attacked stories. They created fake videos showing Kai leading attacks on colonies. They paid spies to whisper lies. He betrayed Earth. He's working with Valen's people. He's building his own empire. Even good people began to question. Some allies turned away. Some ships refused his calls. The Valari smiled. "Make them fear him, then strike." Kai says nothing. The world wanted a reply. The council asked him to speak. The Ghost Legion offered to clear his name, but Kai said only one thing. "The truth doesn't shout, it waits." And he went back to Chiron, planting trees, teaching children, and waiting. The enemy sends a monster. The Valari grew angry. Their plan was slow, too slow. So they created something new. A hunter, built from metal and flesh, programmed with every known human weakness, fast, strong, unstoppable. They called it Varnix, and its only mission was this: find Kai, kill him, broadcast it live. Varnix lands. The attack came at dawn, no warning, no lights, just silence, and then fire. It landed in the middle of Chiron's main village. Children screamed, houses fell, people ran. But Kai didn't move. He stood near the school, helping a girl pick up her books. Varnix walked toward him, 10 feet tall, covered in black metal. Its voice was cold. "You are not a warrior." Kai looked up and said nothing. The monster strikes. Varnix charged. Faster than light, it hit the ground where Kai stood, hard enough to crush steel, but there was no scream, just dust. Then, silence. As it cleared, Kai stood 5 feet away, still calm, still quiet. Varnix growled. "How did you move?" Kai shrugged. "I didn't." The illusion of strength. Varnix attacked again, and again. Each time it missed. Each time, Kai stepped aside with ease. No anger, no panic, no fear, just stillness. Villagers watched from behind walls. One whispered, "He's not even fighting." Another said, "He doesn't need to." The real weapon, finally. Varnix stopped. Its systems were overheating. It couldn't understand. No target had ever survived more than 5 seconds. Varnix screamed, "Fight me." Kai finally spoke. "That's your weakness. You think strength is about fighting." He stepped forward. "You were built for destruction, but I was trained for survival." He held up a small mirror. It showed Varnix's own image, broken, shaking, lost. "You were programmed to win," Kai said. "But what happens when you can't?" The breakdown. Varnix stepped back. Its sensors began to fail. Its mind, half human, half machine, started to collapse. It didn't understand peace. It didn't understand stillness. It was made to fight war, not walk through it. And Kai, he simply turned away, didn't even look at it, didn't fire a shot, didn't lift a hand. He just walked toward the children, and the monster fell, crashing into the dirt, twitching, defeated by someone who never fought. The broadcast that changed everything. The Valari had cameras in the sky. They expected to show Kai dying. Instead, they showed a machine breaking apart, and a human walking away, calm, quiet, unshaken. It was the most watched footage in galactic history. 1 billion people saw it, and something strange happened. They cheered, not for blood, but for control, for peace. The Valari panic. Their plan had failed. Worse, it had helped Kai. Now even their own soldiers were questioning orders. Whispers filled their ships. If one human could do that without violence, why are we still killing? The Valari leader slammed her hand down. We must erase him, burn his name from every wall. This ends now. But it was too late. Kai's warning. The next day, Kai spoke to the council. Not to defend himself, not to fight, but to warn. The Valari fear peace, because they profit from pain. But fear is their fuel. If we stop feeding it, they lose everything. He looked around. If you want a future for your children, don't build bigger weapons. Build better stories. What happens next? Rumors spread. Some said the Valari were already falling apart. Others said they were preparing a final strike. But no one doubted this. Kai had changed the rules. The strongest weapon was not power, not fire, not metal. It was someone who could face war and still choose not to look at it. The galaxy was quiet, too quiet. No bombs, no fleets, no invasions. Yet my people were afraid, not of war, not of enemies, but of one man, Kai. He had no army, no throne, no planet. But his name reached every corner of space, and people asked the same question. If he wanted, could he end us all? Even allies began to whisper in council halls. Leaders argued. Some said, Kai must be controlled. Others feared, what if he changes? What if he snaps? But no one dared say it out loud, not yet, because deep down, they all remembered the monster that fell when Kai did nothing. They remembered how he stopped a war. With a mirror and a walk, Kai disappears. Then one day, he vanished. No message, no farewell, just gone. His ship, Remnant, was found floating near a sun, empty, systems cold, no signs of struggle, only a single word carved into the control panel. Enough. The galaxy panicked. What does that mean? Is he dead? Or worse, is he planning something? The fear grew louder than any weapon. Worlds react in fear. Earth built more defenses. Alliances broke apart. Some colonies banned his name from their networks. One alien government issued an order. If Kai returns, shoot on sight. But the people remembered something else. They remembered the boy from Eros 9, the one who stood when no one else did, who forgave when the galaxy screamed for revenge, who walked away from every chance to destroy. They missed him, whispers of a new power. Then, strange things began to happen. Pirate groups vanished without a fight. Entire slave ships were found empty, captives freed, no bodies. War leaders surrendered suddenly and said only one word. He was there, but no footage showed his face. No voice. No proof. Only stories. Was Kai doing this, or had his legend become something greater? No one knew, and that made the fear worse. The Council summons him out of fear or respect. The High Galactic Council sent a signal across all systems. Called Kai, they asked only one thing. Come speak. Let the galaxy hear your thoughts. End this fear. Tell us your truth. Days passed, no answer. Then, one morning, a ship appeared above the Council world. It was Remnant, alive, and inside was Kai. He walks alone. Again, he entered the chamber with no guards, no armor, no weapons, just a jacket and a single scroll in his hand. The room was filled with leaders, generals, warriors. Many had once tried to stop him. All were silent. He walked to the center, unrolled the scroll, and placed it on the table. The scroll wasn't a threat. It wasn't a map. It wasn't a list of demands. It was a child's drawing, a house, a sun, 4 smiling figures, one small word scribbled on top, home. Kai finally spoke. His voice was calm, steady, but louder than any ship cannon. This is what we've forgotten. We chased power. We drowned in war. We turned peace into a weakness. But I saw something else. I saw what strength really. He pointed to the drawing. It's the courage to build again, to protect something that can't protect itself. A bold statement. Then Kai looked at every leader one by one. You think I'm dangerous, but I've never fired first. You think I want power, but I left when you offered it. You fear what I'll do next, but you never feared what you were doing before I came. A silence filled the room. No one blinked. Then Kai asked the only question that mattered. What will you do next? Are you choice? Given to the galaxy, he didn't stay for applause. He didn't wait for votes. He turned, walked out, and left the scroll behind. That night, it was broadcast to every world. People cried. Some laughed. Most just stared. Because the message was clear. Kai wasn't the threat. He was the mirror. And now the galaxy had to face itself. The fear changed into something else. Soon things began to shift. A war fleet disarmed itself. An old enemy offered peace. A colony stopped building warships and built schools instead. Not because of Kai's orders, because of his example. He didn't rule, he didn't conquer, but he inspired. And somehow that was more powerful than any weapon. Where did he go? No one knows where Kai went after that speech. Some say he became a farmer on a forgotten moon. Others believe he watches silently, helping in small ways. And a few even say, he's not just one man anymore. He's a movement. A story passed, from world to world, the ending. That wasn't an ending, so now the war is truly over, but the galaxy still speaks his name, not in fear, not in anger, but in hope. Whenever darkness rises, whenever leaders grow greedy, whenever war knocks again, a single question stops them. What would Kai do? And often, that's enough. Final voiceover line, hook for your HFY channel. He ended the war without firing a shot. He made monsters fall by standing still, and now, even in silence, the galaxy listens.